I wanted to share some productivity tips. I think I'm not the only one, but I think all of us feel this time crunch, and it's really hard to be productive when we're being pulled in a number of different ways. So, someone recently gave me great advice that productivity is a rhythm, and we have to get in rhythm with it. So, here are three tips I want to share with you. Number one, create a list. This drives me crazy. My mother, every time I tell her I'm stressed, she says, create a list. I'm like, of course, no, right? But actually, this is so important. You got to create a list. For me, I have multiple lists going. I have multiple resources I use, including Trello, which there are different programs like that, Artful Agenda. Sometimes I like the good old-fashioned handwritten list, but start off with your list, organize your thoughts, write it down on paper. It often feels a lot less stressful after you write it down on paper. Second of all, get into your rhythm. A lot of people will say, start with the most important task. Usually, my most important task takes a lot of focus and a lot of time, and I need to clear away the chatter first. So, I actually say, start with the low hanging fruit and get into your rhythm. Send off those little emails you need to send. Check off, do the printer stuff you need to do the mindless work, and start creating some positive reinforcement through some crossing off on your list and get the low hanging fruit off first. And then you can start having a clearer mind and focusing on those more important things. And then finally, get to know your day. So for me, I have learned that in the real estate business that after a certain period of time during the day, usually after about 10:30, my day is not my own anymore. I'm fielding calls. There's a lot of reactive work. So it took me a while to figure out how to be proactive in my business. And so I know that I'm going to block some time always for myself to get some really important stuff done in the morning. And I'll also look at the rest of my day and think, okay, I'm going to be in between appointments. This is when I'm going to need to react to emails. Or, after I put my son to bed, I can do some of this paperwork or do some of this kind of mindless work where I can have the TV on in the background. So, those are my tips for you to keep productive. I hope you find it helpful. If you have any of your own tips that you'd like to share, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear them.